The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel welcomes you to this edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Weekly Update, brought to you by...
Each week, our community makes history. Each week, you make history. And each week, there's only one source to turn to for the first take on history. You know what that is? Subscribe to the Sentinel right now to discover the history being made in your own backyard.
The Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel. More than just your news, it's your history.
Hey, welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Mayor's and Supervisors Update. I'm Chris Carosa, publisher of the Mendon-Honeoye Falls-Lima Sentinel, and each week we bring you the goings-on in the towns and villages that we cover. This week we're going to be starting off with John Moffett, Supervisor of Mendon. John, what's going on in Mendon?
Well, other than Anvil Gate, not a whole lot. But no, seriously, as most of you know, if you've been reading the Sentinel, we've had our issues with the anvil in front of Mendon Farms. It was repaired, it was run into with a garbage truck, and now it's being repaired again. So all I can say is that this recipe that we have now, I think, is going to be even stronger and better than the original, and I'm sure it'll look very appropriate. And I'm going to use that to kind of segue into my next subject, which is the fact that Tim Kelp, who obviously grew up here and as I mentioned, if you've been reading in the Sentinel, has done the repair work to that. And it reminded me, just because I've talked to a few people lately, because every 2 years I end up talking to a few people at their doorsteps. And I'm seeing so many people who have grown up in this community who are returning as adults with their young families. And it really makes me happy, because if we're going to maintain the community that we have, I think this is very important for the future, is that we have people who are moving back into the community, who grew up here and have decided that this was a pretty darn good place to raise a family, and will keep some legacies on board with various family names going forward. So I just wanted to mention that. Also, I've been getting a lot of complaints lately about stop signs. Everybody knows what they look like, but not everybody comes to a complete stop or knows what to do when they get to a four-way stop, and someone is already at that four-way stop. So please be aware of our stop signs in town. Be aware of what to do when you come on a four-way stop. I'm not going to get into a big dissertation about what to do, but please review that if it's been a few years since you've taken your driver's permit, like me. Let's see. Unfortunately, I'm going to tell you that the town and county taxes are going to come out in January. And with the town's budget, even though it's not finalized, I can tell you that it's been a little bit of a struggle this year. We have seen a lot of increases regarding emergency services. And that's one of the things we definitely want to make sure that we're providing the proper financial tools to be able to continue, so that when you call 911, the ambulance will come, the fire departments will come, that type of thing. So be aware, especially if you're in the fire protection district, which is a little confusing to most people where that is. It's basically north of the village of Honeoye Falls and about halfway through the town. So the town of Mendon does contract with the village of Honeoye Falls and the Honeoye Falls Fire Department for fire service in the fire protection area. So you're probably going to see a uptick in that bill, which is a separate line in your town and county bill, which unfortunately is a late Christmas present. Thanks for your time.
All right, John, thanks. Today we have a special pinch hitter for Rick Milne, Virginia Butler Flaw. She's village trustee. Ginny, what's going on in the village?
A lot. First of all, I want to congratulate Rick for winning re-election to another term, representing the district in the county legislature. I'm going to be talking about a few random things in the village, but also specifically the Historical Society, which I'm a liaison to, and also the Conservation Board. First of all, the village business. On Tuesday, November 14th, the village will be receiving a sizable check for one of those expensive things you were talking about, John, from New York State Assemblywoman Lunsford's office, for about $595,000, and that will go toward a new ambulance, which was much needed, and a new street sweeper. Our old one was not working. A portion is also paying for sidewalk renovation on West Main Street over by the post office and down to Norton Street to fix uneven, broken sidewalk and also the brickwork. Many thanks to the Representative Lunsford, for securing this much needed funding. We really appreciate her efforts to support the community. Leaf pickup ends next week. I keep putting mine out and they keep disappearing quickly. So thanks to Dave Ford and his crew. They're amazing getting at it. And that's not just because I'm a village board member. That's how fast they are. They're really good at this. They put a lot of time and effort into picking everything up and taking care of that equipment. So thanks once again to Dave and the whole crew. Now they're prepping for the colder weather and snow if we get it. Holiday plans are underway down in the village. Businesses will be decorating their storefronts once again. We've got the big parade coming up on December 9th. You'll be hearing more about that later. Another note of interest that you might have seen on Facebook about movement on the brewery at the corner of Main Street there. I don't have anything more to say about that, but stay tuned. I'm sure you'll see it in the Sentinel. Let's see. I'm the village board liaison to the Honeoye Falls Mendon Historical Society. If you haven't been over to the museum over there, it's actually really interesting. And there's some, our history is kind of amazing. This was so many businesses were here before. This whole community was so big in a small way. That's the way to say it. But we had to kind of have everything here that we needed. So it's very interesting to see the history and to see what's come and gone and how vibrant this community was and still is. If you haven't been there, once again, it's in Harry Allen Park, so please go over and visit. One of the things that they've been working on is that building there. So the village has been working with the Historical Society on upgrading the HVAC, replacing windows. It's an old building and it needs a lot of work. So we've been trying to help them out with that. They're working on upgrading their computer system to store the documents and photographs. There's volunteers who are digitizing old photographs, the zillions of them. And it's going to take a while, but they'll be in there and these things will be available. So that's great news. Let's see, what else is going on here? Oh, the audio tour around the village was updated by the Rotary Club with the help of Lynn Menz. So there's updates to that, and it's an interesting, view into the history of the village if you want to check it out. From the Conservation Board, there's a lot. Tree planting will be coming up. There'll be, a variety of trees all coming from Monroe County Soil and Water. We will need volunteers in the spring to help with some of that planting. These are to replace the ash trees that were killed by the emerald ash borer. Spotted lantern flies have been seen in Greece, so they're here. If you see them in the community, please kill them and then call the DEC because they need to know where they are. Conservation Board is going to have some traps up around their preferred areas to catch them and hopefully keep the population under control because they're so damaging to our community. Very successful garden season. All the plots were filled. People got a lot of food and support from that. Thanks to all the people who organized that. Let's see. They're going over the parks master plan with all the new development. Parks need a little bit of work, some of them, and also expanding the trail system that's around the village. This is all in the works with the Conservation Board. Skate park is nearly completed, and a ton of volunteers have been working on that to get it to where it should be. Let's see. Conservation Board is trying to secure climate smart community status for Honeoye Falls. That's an extensive process. So again, stay tuned. We'll tell you more when that comes about. And the Green Team representative on the Conservation Board. It's a great group of kids from the district and their leaders, Andy Corey. They work a lot in the community, but they're also giving a sustainability talk at Hobart William Smith, and it's the second year they've done that. So it's an impressive group of young people doing important things for this community and for conservation. And that's all I have, which is a lot.
Thanks, Ginny. Over to Mike. Mike, how's living in Lima?
Hello, Chris. Things in Lima are pretty good. Thanks for having us again. Livingston County, the Soil and Water Conservation District, has partnered up with SUNY Geneseo and is now unveiling Livingston County air photos through time mapping. You can actually log on to the website and you can see and do some comparative analysis of Livingston County starting in 1938, and then the next block in 2002, 2005, 2010, and 2015. Side by side, see where the roads were added, how the housing developed, see where things came and went, etc. Very cool technology. Anyone can access it. The website is gis.livingstoncounty.us/aerial swipe, and that's AERIALSWIPE. The Livingston County Sheriff sent out a release this week reminding us that sadly this was the 44th anniversary of the death of Tammy Jo Alexander over in Caledonia. This is a cold case that the Sheriff's Department is still working on. If you have any information about the death of Tammy Jo Alexander, I encourage you to reach out to the Sheriff's Office. They have a tip line. It is 844-LCSO-TIP, or you can email the investigator directly. It is jmerrick, MERRICK, at co.livingston.newyork.us. Because we have just celebrated Veterans Day, one of the things that, of course, is on everybody's mind is the still quite high rate of veteran suicide in the United States. Veterans are more likely to commit suicide in the first year they have returned after being deployed, gotten out. And there is a movement afoot to try to reestablish the linkages that vets had when they were in using video gaming. The application is called Regiment, and it allows the troops to basically reconnect with the folks from their unit and other people across the country through the video gaming platform, so that they can sort of continue to share the experiences with people that they are comfortable with. It is working. However, to set up a node is about 10 grand. Legion Post 282, the Lima Post over in West Bloomfield, they have allocated space for it. And the Lima Crossroads Council has allocated some charity money on next year's festival run to give it sort of a head start. So if you are interested in the project, please give me a call here at the town hall, 582-1130, or you can call me on my cell phone, 585-509-1433, and we'll see if we can actually put the pieces together to try and get this done. And that's all I've got, Chris. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, Mike. Ginny, John, anything that you want to add that you may have forgotten? Nothing? Seeing nothing? Thank you all for being here. Thank you all there in TV land for watching this. Remember, it airs every Sunday at 1 o'clock. Be sure to like our Facebook page or subscribe to our YouTube channel, and you will be notified when the broadcast starts running. That's all for this week. Bye-bye for now, everyone.
Imagine yourself communicating with a difference. Pan-Dimensional Solutions helps you do this. Whether live spectator events, taped broadcasts, or real-time audience-engaging programs, you can benefit immediately from the tools Pan-Dimensional Solutions will share with you. Do you want to make a difference? Contact us at pandimensional.com.